When I was younger, I was in Walmart and I was eating a tube of Pringles and I ate them while my mom paid, but I forgot to let the guy scan them, so I walked out the Walmart and the alarm went off and I just started running because I got scared and my mom couldn't find me because I was hiding behind the newspaper things, and the Walmart people called the police because I was missing, and when I hear them show up I thought I was a criminal, so I left my mom a note on the newspaper that said I went to Mexico to start a new life and not come looking for me, and then I took off running with my Pringles and ran for like an hour, and then the cops saw me walking down the road so they pulled over, so I started running again, and then they were using the car intercom thing and they told me to stop running. So when I did, I thought they were gonna put me in handcuffs and take me to jail, so I was crying and I slapped the officer in the stomach and tried to run again, but he just held me back, and when he asked me what happened to me and I told him, he started crying because he was laughing so hard. And he just gave my mom $2 for the Pringles and he was still laughing when he left. And that's the time I was a wanted criminal.
On the first day of 6th grade I had a crush and he liked me back. He's been my boyfriend for 2 months. We met up at the park and he decided to kiss me. I kissed him back. The next day I asked my mom if my friend could come over. That was actually my boyfriend. She didn't know about him. Once he got to my house my mom said he was my cousin. I've been kissing my cousin. One time when I was 6 I was at my nanny's house and we were playing hide and go seek. There was a big jar of pennies sitting out in their house. While my nanny was counting I went and grabbed them and put a bunch of them in my mouth and went to another room to hide. Whenever my nanny found me I screamed and accidentally swallowed one of the pennies. I told her what happened and she tried to get me to throw up so the penny would come out. We ended up driving to the hospital and the doctor said that I'd poop it out within a week. Every single time I pooped for the next week my mom had to look through my shit to try and find the penny, yet she never did. So when I was 7, there was this teacher at my school, who was always racist to me, and my friends. Since I'm a Muslim Arab, and she's black, she would tell my friend that her dad is a drug dealer, and my parents were terrorists. She wouldn't even let us go to the bathroom, but would let the white kids go all together. I knew that if I told the principal, they wouldn't do anything cause everyone likes her. I had had enough of her bullshit, so 7-year-old me researched how to kill people. I planned on pouring bleach in her coffee, so I made sure to get to class early, and poured the bleach in her cup of coffee. I watched her drink all of it, until she went to the bathroom, and started vomiting continuously. The school called an ambulance, but there wasn't enough bleach to kill her, so she just stayed in the hospital for 3 months. And no one knows it was me. Do I regret what I did? Hell to the fucking no. The fuck face racist piece of shit teacher deserved it. I wish she died. These better be anonymous cause I attempted murder. One time when I was 15 I went to the beach with my best friend and we were there all day. I ended up sleeping over at her house and before bed I chugged 2 bottles of water. I felt very dehydrated. We were sleeping in the same bed and I fucking wet the bed. I peed so fucking much it woke me up and it was all over her too. I was panicking and didn't know what to do, so I went to the fridge, got chocolate milk and poured it all over the bed and all over her and said I spilled chocolate milk, and we need to wash the sheets, and she believed me. I'm 18 now and she still has no idea. Once in 5th grade there was this girl who was part of the popular group and she was super mean to me, like so fucking mean, and one night she sent an embarrassing picture of me to a group chat with my crush in it and I got so fucking mad, like I cried for 3 hours straight. So I decided to get back at her. I stole her backpack from her seat and put it in the garbage can outside. Then I decided to ruin her sandwich by putting mayonnaise in her peanut butter and jelly sandwich while they were all at the bathroom. When she came back she started eating the sandwich. A few minutes later I saw her screaming and crying and I was super confused. She starts to turn purple and have a seizure, so I started to freak out inside. They rushed her to the hospital and it turns out she was allergic to eggs and she died on her way to the hospital because she couldn't find her EpiPen. The girl next to her was eating a turkey and cheese sandwich with mayo and everyone accused her of putting the mayo in, and she had to switch schools because everyone bullied her for it. I still feel guilty to this day and regret it.
I went to the hospital with my entire family because my grandma was dying of cancer. I was crying really hard, and my grandma said to me, "Don't worry baby, I'm going to a better place." I slapped the hell out of her and told her to stay. She died.
Virgin self was very curious and wanted to know what sex was like. I didn't know anyone to have sex with, so I just asked a random guy from my school. He said he was down, so I went to his house. I had to jump out of my window at 3 a.m. because I have strict parents. I was scared, but he didn't live far. He snuck me in and he looked like he knew what he was doing. We started making out for a few minutes. He finally whipped out his eggplant, and when I tell you it was smaller than my pinky, I swear that shit was so tiny. I didn't know what to do because that thing was so small. He tried to stick it in, but I didn't feel anything, so I don't really know if he took my V card or not. Not to go into detail or anything, but it was pretty gross. He looked like he was enjoying it, but I sure wasn't. I just wanted to go. I kept trying to fake moan, but after he was done I left.
When I was 4, my uncle died and my mom was talking to my aunt and crying, but I was throwing a fit because she never took my Pop-Tarts out of the toaster and they were the limited edition winter ones, so you know I was excited for those bitches. And she told me my uncle died and I said, "Okay, where's my Pop-Tart?" She threw away the box, fucking bitch. Okay, here's my confession. One time in 6th grade I was single as fuck, so I went on Tinder and matched with this guy and I asked him if we could meet up then smash, and he agreed, so I gave him my address and he snuck in at around 1 in the morning. He was 16 at the time and I was only 12, but I didn't care and neither did he, so we started making out and he slowly took off his clothes and mine and he put his ding dong in me, but it was really small and I'm not even sure if I lost my V card to him cause it was so small, but 3 years later I found out he was a sex offender, lol. So there's this one time I asked my mother, "Why was you and daddy making all those noises?" and she told me how she was baking a cake, so I wanted to bake a cake too, so I asked my friend to come over so we can bake a cake, and when she came she was confused. So we was just standing staring at each other naked. Next thing you know we just starting making moaning noises to bake the cake like my mom said, and she walked in on us. Okay, so a couple years back my teenage sister was pregnant. Nobody knew at the time, not even her. And so one day I was in my room just hanging out, and I heard a really loud scream coming from my sister's room. Naturally me and my family went upstairs to go check on her to make sure she's okay. And me and my mom walked into my sister's room, and there was blood all over her sheets. And my sister had, I wanna keep it family friendly, so let's just say toy. Anyway, there was a bloody toy in her hand and she kept screaming. Like it was a lot of blood. My mom took her to the hospital cause she didn't know what else to do. And it turns out she accidentally gave herself an abortion with a toy.
Hey, so a girl at my friend's school in 11th grade was in biology class and she decided that it would be funny to stick a test tube up her hoo-ha. She had a skirt on, so it wasn't that hard to get it in there. It was in there, but her teacher was walking around the class and he was close to her, so she quickly closed her legs and the glass test tube shattered inside of her. She screamed and had to tell the male teacher what she had just done. She had to go to the hospital to get the shards of glass removed from her, and then she had to transfer schools because everyone knew what she did.
Though one time me and my friend wanted ice cream, and it was all we could think about for hours. Both of us didn't have licenses and no one would agree to take us to the ice cream store, so we decided to steal my mom's car and go get ice cream. We were 15 at the time and had never driven before. On our way back we got pulled over a couple blocks before my house. The officer came up to us and asked to see my license. Obviously I didn't have a license, so I panicked. Threw my ice cream in his face and starting speeding home. Long story short, I took the license plate off my mom's car so the cop couldn't find me, and there has been a warrant out for my arrest ever since.